Shalom, everyone. It's me, Ari Dusset, or you can just call me Rashid, here with another live. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly, please. That's the first thing I'm asking you to tell me the live chat. Can you hear me clearly? Let me know, please. Then I know if I need to adjust the sound settings or not. Let me know now. Can you hear me clearly? I always do this in the beginning of my live streams. A few times I've forgotten to wait, but it's a norm. So, okay. Maria can hear me clearly. There are more people here. Just show yourself in the live chat, please. Thank you very much. EE is here. I'm glad you're here, EE. Can the rest show themselves also? Thank you very much. Tammy's here. I'm glad you're here, Tammy. Okay, that's good. All right. Look, the topic of tonight, well, at least it's night for me, as you can see. I'm in the Hague, if you didn't know already. Mike Bill's here too. Okay, listen. The topic of tonight relates to predictive programming and relates to hiding in plain sight. Predictive programming, that is when mainstream media or political factors, they program the mind of the masses to act in a certain way for in the future. That's predictive programming. And then you have hiding in plain sight. It's often used in conspiracy theory videos. Hiding in plain sight simply means you reveal someone the truth so blatantly that people often miss out on it. Now, let me explain the following to you here. No human being is sovereign. No human being has the right nor the entitlement to think, feel, and act however they want without obligation or a context. No human being does. You're not even entitled to feel and think however you want, because the way you feel and think both affects your own being as well as other people. So if you think and feel a certain way, the way you think and feel also affects the environment. So you also have obligation to be a safe factor to the environment. So the whole idea that you're entitled to your own opinion is not factually true. And by the way, you cannot have a stable community unless people agree with one another. If everyone thinks and feels whatever they want, then there is no stability. You're going to have conflict and unrest. So the whole idea of free will itself is ridiculous. You're not entitled to will and feel and think however you want. You're not. It's nowhere found in Scripture, ever. Neither Old or New Testament. It's not even natural to think you're entitled to do this. Also understand that what you think, feel, and all that's also affected by other people. So you're not sovereign as a human being. You're not. You may have a leverage over other people, and because of leverage, you can get away with certain things for now, but you're not sovereign. Okay? Only God Himself is sovereign. And even God Himself, who is sovereign, explains Himself to us. So if God Himself, who is sovereign, does not have the attitude, I don't owe you an explanation, because human beings love the attitude, I don't owe you an explanation. It's my private life, my privacy. I don't owe you anything. I have no obligation towards you. We love this, I don't owe you anything attitude. Even God Himself explains Himself to us. God explains His actions to us. That's what God is doing. So if God explains actions towards us and He's sovereign, who are we? Creatures thinking we have a right to not explain ourselves to other people as we don't owe anyone else anything. We do owe other people, but they also owe us. That's how it has to be. We owe them, they owe us. There must be harmony and balance, how it should be. But fallen mankind just want to escape all the time, so they don't want any long-term obligation, just want to escape. That's fallen mankind. That is why things like marriage are often celebrated. Oh, you've been together for 10 years, 15 years. Whoa, why do we celebrate sex partners being together for 10 or 15 years? Shouldn't it be natural if you're sexually bond with someone, you kind of want to stay with them? Why do we have ceremonies celebrating staying with a sex partner? Why do it doesn't even exist? It shouldn't even exist. It should be a common, natural thing to stay with the one you're sexually bonded with. The reason we have celebrations for that because fallen mankind has a tendency to sexually exploit and leave. That's the truth. Fallen mankind has a tendency to sexually exploit and leave. That's why society has institutions to force people to stay sexually loyal to towards one another. It's a sad situation that is this way, but that's how it is with fallen mankind. So, A lot of people would perceive, a marriage anniversary as a good thing to celebrate. And if you want to celebrate being so many years together, you can do that. But why do we even celebrate such things? It should be a common, natural thing. But it's not a common, natural thing for worldlings because they tend to want to escape. So the way you see things also determine how healthy you are. That's why Jesus said, "The eye is the lamp to the body." If your eye be single, if your perception is proper, it will be well with you, also on a physical level. But if you perceive things the wrong way, you are in trouble. As simple as that. So, if your perception is not right, or if your perception is lacking, you are in trouble. Simple as that. Because anyone can take advantage of you in such a situation. Now, the topic of tonight is about wizards. Now, let me explain what a wizard is. A wizard is not some guy with some weird magical stick and a long beard bringing objects out of thin air. That's what you see in cartoons, like in Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever. A wizard is a man, because there's no such thing as female wizards, it doesn't exist. A wizard is a man who fully agrees with Satan's viewpoint, and he goes so far to want to be part of Satan's private government. Satan has a private human government on the earth that enables Satan's will in the earth realm. And the wizard is part of that private government of Satan, a government Satan shouldn't have. The wizard is the man who fully knows who the Heavenly Father is. He fully knows about the Bible. He fully knows about Christ. He fully knows about the resurrection. Fully knows about Jesus' second coming. And he fully knows about human nature, especially human sexual nature. And he agrees with Satan's misery and joins Satan's misery and decides, I'm going to side with evil forever. That is the wizard. And in exchange for siding with evil unconditionally, now the wizard gets benefits from the paranormal. They get the best paranormal strength that's available. And because of that, they're able to do huge paranormal tricks out there that blows people's minds. The wizard is a man who has decided, I don't want to be part of any solution. I just want ease. And if I can destroy and harm these people, I'm fine with it. And you know what, Satan? I agree with you fully. I also agree against a woman. It's like you agree against a woman. So, what do you have to offer me, Satan? Then Satan tells, okay, listen, I can make you a chief over here. You guys will run the world on my behalf. But just know that when you side with me, you're doomed with me. And the man said, we agree with it. So the wizard is a voluntary friend of Satan. That's what a wizard is. And to be a wizard, you have to graduate in one of their institutions. Nobody can just become a wizard. First of all, you have to be a man to be a wizard. That's the first thing. You have to know what God is. You have to have read the Bible and know fully what you're choosing. The wizard vowed against God. He vowed against sexual health, and he vowed against human females. Fully. That is the wizard. All right? So they know fully what they're doing. The warlock, because in Dutch, you have one word for wizard and warlock. There is one word for both. Tovenaar in Dutch. Tovenaar is a Dutch word that mean both a wizard and a warlock. But there's a difference between the two. I'll explain what a wizard is. A warlock is a man. Witches are females. A warlock is a man that uses his own energy field in a perverted way to get things done in life. Why is it perverted? Because the warlock uses paranormal aid. But to take advantage of paranormal aid, you can't be fully sexually healthy. There must be some sexual dysfunction in you for you to be a warlock. So that's why I say the warlock is a man who, in a perverted way, uses energy field to get outcomes in daily life. That is a warlock. A warlock can be fully inaugurated in an institution, So you graduate as a warlock with a specific rank, or it can also be it can also be a warlock by association. It just practices the paranormal things, but he has no evil intentions whatsoever. So you have warlocks who are just warlocks by association because they have no evil intentions. They just want to use it to get ahead in life and use paranormal tricks. And then you have warlocks who actually are installed as people that do the dark arts. Okay? So before I continue, is the distinction, the difference between a warlock and a wizard clear onto you? Let me know in the live chat. Is it clear? Is it clear to the rest also? All right. Now, I'm talking about wizards here. I'm not talking about warlocks. I'm talking about wizards. Okay. Now you have reprobate warlocks, but just because a warlock is reprobate doesn't mean he's a wizard. I'm talking about actual wizards. Those members of Satan's private government. This is what I'm talking about. Wizards know very well that human beings have no such thing called free will, the right to will whatever they will. They don't. They know the human beings don't have that. But wizards also know that the human species, apart from Christ, is not only dysfunctional, but also cruel. Let me tell you, many wizards, I can't say most wizards, I can't say that, but many wizards had severe traumatic childhoods, are being neglected and abused. Now, a lot of abused people, a lot of abused children, severely abused children, when they grow up and realize what happened to them, a lot of them decide, you know what, let me choose to forgive because it's not worth to carry this anger with me. And a lot of them become believers also, become powerful believers afterwards. But I also have children that were severely abused. Once they turn adults, I'm talking about the men, there are boys who have been severely abused. Once they turn adults, realize, hold on a minute. You mean to tell me that my own species was willing to neglect one of their own, me, just to get ease? And now you expect me to participate in solutions for these people? Hell no. You know what? I want to escape too. But you know what? I want to escape without getting caught. So they escaped at my expense when I was a child. So I'm going to escape at their expense now. And such people, such men, end up becoming wizards. Now, not all wizards became wizards like this, but that has been a motivation for many men to decide, you know what, let me embrace Satan completely. Because hell no, do I want to, why could they escape at my expense? Now I need to always contribute to them. But anyway, I do not agree with wizards. I do not. They shouldn't choose Satan's side. By the way, how can you as a man even choose Satan's side going against the human female? But you came out of a woman yourself. So I don't agree with wizards. But one thing wizards are correct about, the masses are not innocent. Absolutely not. And one thing wizards openly know about the masses is that they will only comply out of necessity when they have no other option. Give the opportunity to neglect and they will neglect. And they won't apologize for it. They know this about the masses. So wizards don't have any blind faith in humanity and they don't have any blind optimism. They know that good people are around on the earth, but most good people are sabotaged by their fellow men. So wizards have a realistic, hard view of the reality and the condition of mankind. They do. So wizards, as I told before, instead of embracing Christ and have a solution, they think, hold on a minute, I'm not going to choose Christ, and now I need to go through difficulty again for the same people that neglected me. What the fuck is this, Jesus? You want me, out of being neglected like this, to also end up forgiving these people and reach out to them again? Are you kidding me, Lord? Hell no. You want to reach out to them, Lord, just for your glory? Fuck you. You do it. I'm not going to do that. Bye. That's the minds of the wizard. Because wizard will emphasize, hold on a minute. Why should these creatures that neglected me, that did all this shit towards me, Why should they benefit off of me first, and now now and they need to benefit again from me? Oh, what the heck is this? But Jesus is saying, no, 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 they're not benefiting from you again. They neglected you. You serve me now. They neglect you again. They'll be ruined. But the wizard thinks, Heavenly Father, I'm not into that. Bye. That's a wizard. So they choose Satan and Satan's quote unquote benefits. But wizards are correct. The masses are neglectful and they're horrible. Not all human beings like that, but the masses are. But the wizard also knows, you know what? There are human beings out there who do want better. So we cannot just use the leverage we have and offload ourselves on the masses. Because wizards hate the masses. They do. Wizards hate their own species. They do. They absolutely can't stand our species. But they know very well they cannot get away with just exploding on all people around. They cannot. Because they know they'll get in trouble with the Heavenly Father directly for it. So what wizards do is, and this instruction they got from Satan, they warn the masses. It's twofold. They warn the masses about themselves, so nobody will take them seriously. Yes, wizards make themselves look ridiculous often, so that the masses will not take them seriously. That's a kind of a way to warn the masses, don't follow us. And the second reason why they warn the mass is because there are good people that will become believers, and the wizards have the obligation to show those future believers the truth about the masses. Even though the wizards not serve the Heavenly Father, they know they're under the restraints of the Heavenly Father, nevertheless. So, that's why wizards warn the masses. But Rashid, how do they warn the masses? By inverted storytelling. Now, what is storytelling? Storytelling is when you influence one's behavior by using a narrative. A narrative can be any type of story, whether it's a fairy tale like Cinderella or Snow White, or whether it's a piece of history like American history. Anytime you use a narrative to shape someone's behavior, that is storytelling. For example, if your mom or dad tells you stories of how they always behaved well and they end up good in life, they try to shape your behavior and your perception. They want to shape how you think about yourself, how you behave. That's storytelling. Storytelling is how we raise children. Storytelling is how we shape communities. Storytelling is how we form friendships and marriages also. So storytelling is part of our human nature. There's nothing wrong with storytelling. How often in the world, storytelling is often used in a negative way just to escape. Now, God uses storytelling to motivate us to trust Him and to obey Him. Wizards, they use storytelling both to warn the masses and to warn future believers. But there's another reason why they warn the masses, and it's a practical scientific reason why they do it. When you warn someone openly for danger and they refuse to listen, when danger happens to them, it's going to be on them for not taking the warning. So let me give an example. Let's say you have a bunch of wizards and they decide that they are going to kidnap children, sexually molest children, so that they're dysfunctional adults in a community. And they know the masses want victims. So if they molest children on purpose in a racial way, and those children now become dysfunctional adults, the masses will feel good about themselves. They're not just like that guy over there. Because if you severely molest children, they'll likely end up severely mentally ill as adults, or they'll end up as criminals. Anyway, it won't go well. And the wizards know the masses are neglectful towards those people, so they pick children from neglected families that neglect them, sexually molest them very hardly, and those children now become dysfunctional adults later on. Now, the wizards did their crap, but the people allowed them to do it because they didn't look after the children properly. Now, this is what happens. If the wizards would do this, let's say one of those severely abused children later becomes a serial killer, and the serial killer kills, let's say, your daughter. And now your daughter is dead because this monster killed her. But how did he turn into a monster? Well, the community severely neglected him as a child, and the wizards had their way with him. So who killed your daughter? It's not just that serial killer killed your daughter, it's the community that killed your daughter. That guy was just a perpetrator, but it's the community that shaped the perpetrator. All right. So let's say now this goes on. Let's say you now cry down and begin to cry, Lord, why this happened, Heavenly Father? Why did I have to lose my daughter? Let's begin to cry out to God in tears. What would happen is the wizards now are in big trouble. They get holy angels slapping them around. They're going to get severe consequences on them. And they don't want to go through that. So what they do is as follows. They do the sexual molestation of children ritually to give, because society wants victims, so they give living sacrifice to society by doing this. But at the same time, they make movies, whether it's through Hollywood or Bollywood or some other movie industry. They make movies and they put all the money in promoting those movies so that those movies become dominant and popular. And in those movies, they're showing what they're doing. And those movies are in your face through advertisement everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you're not into watching movies, you'll know about it. Why are they doing this? By making those movies, they're showing you this is the world you live in. The public doesn't want to face anything. They don't want solutions, just want to escape. And they escape by having victims. Now, we, the wizards, we provide the victims by severely molesting those children. Yes, we are the bad guys. We will go to the lake of fire for it. Jesus will send us to the lake of fire. We know it. But the masses are just as bad as us because they allow shit to happen. Are you sure you want to be part of this world? So wizards, by showing you what they're doing and showing the neglect of the mass, whether it's through movies or whether it's through documentaries, they're actually warning you and giving you and telling you, listen, we're fucked. We're going to the lake of fire. We're going to hell, but that's on us. You can still escape. They have the obligation to show you what they're doing and to show you how on word they are. They do. Because if they don't, they get slapped around from corner to corner, from room to room, from street to street. Yes, they are. So that's why Jesus said, don't worry about those who can kill the body and then you can't do anything anymore. Jesus didn't tell us to fear, but he said, if when it comes to being afraid, wouldn't you better rather be afraid of the one that can destroy both your body and soul? Well, what Jesus was saying is, look, human beings out there can only murder you, kill your body, that's it. The Heavenly Father can bring ruin on you about your body and your soul. You don't even have to die. So what happens to those wizards is when they don't warn the masses and give the masses a way out, they are the ones being thrown around from place to place with severe plagues. And hell no, they don't want to go through this. So they always make sure they warn the masses. Do you follow me now? Do you follow what I just explained to you? Let me know in the live chat. Do you understand what I just explained? Do you understand it? Mhm. I'm not done yet, but I want to know if you understand it till now, because it's quite important. Again, let me check whether this is working well. Hold on, let me check whether this live chat is working well, because I don't receive any live chat right now. Hold on. One moment, please. I'll be right. I'm still here, so let me see if there's something else I've missed. Okay. Okay, the live chat is working, so that's fine. So let me go back. All right. So it's clear to all of you. Now, that's why the wizards, they show you what they're doing. It's not just through movies or documentaries. Often you have warlocks who want to do a satanic deal, whether as a politician or as an actor or whatever. So you have people who want to sell out just to get things quickly in this life from the paranormal. They all have to do the Baphomet. And the wizard may tell them, listen, dude, so you want to be this big politician over here? Okay, we got you. You can do that. You do the Baphomet. You go to the dark room. and all of that. You've done all of that. Okay, listen. I want you to start an affair with your secretary. And the politician is saying, what? Starting an affair with my secretary? Why would I do that? Listen, you know we're bad news, right? You don't chose Satan, right? Yeah, I know I chose Satan. So somehow you don't really care that much about your own people. No, I don't really care that much about own people. Okay, okay, so you don't really care much about your own people. Listen, we have to warn people against us. If we warn them and show them how stupid and retarded and ridiculous we are, and it's still put up with us, it's going to be on them. But it's our job to show them. Because you know what's going to happen if you don't show them. We're in trouble, the demons are in trouble, and everything's going to waste. So then the politician will start an affair with the secretary. And then the same wizards who instruct him to start an affair with the secretary will be the same wizards that will take proof and blast in the media. Oh, there's another political scandal. Married politician had an affair with secretary. Oh, now there's trauma in the community because of it. And people say, man, why are all the politicians so dirty? Well, guess what? The wizards arrange like this so the public knows, listen, you guys want to escape, right? Well, if you want to escape, this is what you're going to get. Corrupt people that will take advantage of you. So if you guys choose to keep escaping as a community, this is what you're going to get. You won't get any better because God won't give you any better. So do you want to still put up with us? And if the people say, F you all, we want Jesus, want to change, okay, then the wizards, they're finished. But if the public starts to make excuses or they turn the politician into a scapegoat, now they have confirmed their loyalty to Satan. That is how the public confirms their loyalty to Satan. Because they insist on escaping. And wizards, together with the high-ranking warlocks, they have to offer the public a way out. That's why in many movies, you have this villain using Bible verses. And you think to yourself, why is this villain, this rapist or killer in this movie using Bible verses? What the heck is this? Why did it show serial killers using Bible verses all the time? What the heck is this? Well, let me tell you what goes on. Let me tell you what goes on. They're showing you the reality. And why do you think that in many movies, the believers are sexually dysfunctional? Haven't you noticed that in many movies, they portray believers as sexually dysfunctional? Why they do that? Because that is the projection of the masses. Many people want believers to be sexually dysfunctional, so they have an excuse to stay in the world and escaping. Because is it true that all believers are sexually dysfunctional? Absolutely not. There are many sexually fluent believers out there, men and women. And a lot of them don't have a companion yet. So to say that, oh, when you serve Jesus, you're going to miss out on life, you're going to have a boring existence, you're not going to have sexual enjoyment anymore when you serve Christ, I'm sorry, that's not true. Absolutely not. But that's the projection of the world, so they have an excuse to stay in escapism. How? So let's look at this retarded thinking. It's stupid retarded thinking. How can God, who owns human sexuality, how come someone that serves God is sexually dysfunctional, but someone that serves Satan, who is a sodomite loser, suddenly they are more sexually fluent and more sexually capable than the believer? Do you see this is quite dumb? But this is what they portray in movies often. Why? Because this is what the masses want. The masses are using suggestive witchcraft on believers to sexually disable believers. They do this through toxic church restrictions and through ridiculing believers. Why? So they have an excuse to continue sexually exploiting one another. That's why worldlings want to continue sexually exploiting one another. That's what they want. So they want to project sexual dysfunction on believers, just have an excuse to say, "Well, God, it was really attractive to serve you because everyone that serves you is sexually dysfunctional, sexually frustrated." Is this reality? No, it's not. Absolutely not. But that is what they do so that they can have an excuse. So the wizards give them what they want. They keep portraying believers as sexually dysfunctional in all these movies. And they portray the bad boys, the scam artists, the prostitute, the host as being so sexually fluent. In reality, it's not the case at all. In reality, worldlings are quite sexually fucked up. They are. That's why when you mention the term sex alone, a lot of people get uncomfortable. Why? Because human sexuality has been abused and abused so much by our own species. Even mentioning sex often triggers people into tears. Some people even getting to slap you, get upset with you when you mention the term sex. But you even see sometimes women who walk around in a sexually provoking way get upset when you mention sex. I'm thinking, lady, you walk around in a sexually provoking way. So you want sexual attention so much, but when you mention sex, suddenly you get upset. What the heck is wrong with you? That shows you many people out there are out of their damn minds because they don't want to admit either they were sexually molested themselves as children or they have been sexually exploited, sexually misused by other people. But worldlings don't want to have responsibility, especially in the area when it comes to sex. So they want to project their shit onto believers. So when wizards make those movies showing believers as sexually dysfunctional, they do it in a blatant way. They are actually praising hoes, prostitutes, bad boys, pimps, lover boys. They sexually praise the worst type of human beings in movies and believe them portrayed as sexually dysfunctional, like you're going to miss out on them. When you see a movie like this, it should make you uncomfortable. Say, I don't want to watch this movie anymore. Bye. That's how it should be. There are even unbelievers telling me, Rashid, I can't watch this movie, man. Why are believers, why are people that follow Jesus portrayed so badly in this movie? But guess what? A lot of people watch movies like this and they enjoy it because that's really what they want. So if you enjoy watching such movies, that means you're showing your agreement with Satan. And once that happens, demons will note it, and now the demons have easy access to you to ruin you. And if you ever cry out to that Father will say, hold on a minute. You want to cry out to me because demons are aroused at you, but why did you enjoy seeing seeing believers being sexually ridiculed like that? Why did you enjoy watching movies where believers were sexually ridiculed? Why did you do that? Well, Heavenly Father, it is true that people that serve you are missing out on good sex, or whatever. Sorry, I made human sexuality. How the heck can people that serve me miss out and I'm the manufacturer of human sexuality? What are you talking about? How many believers from opposite sex have you encountered and slept with to conclude that believers are sexually dysfunctional? Tell me how many believers from the opposite sex you've encountered that were so sexually dysfunctional for you to conclude this. Oh, wait, now you can't say anything. You just want to escape. So why should I give you any help? You don't want any responsibility. You just want to take advantage. You're a narcissist. That's how it's going to be. So wizards, by warning the masses, they take away excuses from the masses. What they're doing. So wizards are not good men. They're not. They're not good people, and we shouldn't have pity on them. Hell no, I don't have pity on the wizards. You choosing self-destruction to the full like that. Are you kidding me? Even the part going against a human female, that alone already makes me think, what the heck? I don't care how much you were abused as a child. I'm not saying that out of as if I don't have any empathy, nor pity, nor sympathy on you. Especially because you've been severely abused as a child, should motivate you. I want better. And Jesus is better, so let me serve Jesus. So I have no pity nor any compassion on the wizards. Absolutely not. Wizards are horrible, evil human beings. Nevertheless, I have to admit, what they're saying is often true about the masses. And let me tell you, in a weird, ironic way, wizards end up helping out believers. They don't intend to help out believers because they want everyone to die with them and go to hell with them. But they end up helping out believers by showing us believers this is how the world thinks about you. This is what the world wants to do to you. What do you mean is this entrapment tactics? Please explain your question better, please. So, I do not agree with wizards. You should you. We're even warned in the Bible not to chase after wizards. Absolutely not. Just know wizards are factual in a lot of things they're doing. And let me tell you, wizards are more realistic than many believers are, and that's embarrassing. Wizards look scientifically at human species and they see how far human species are willing to go to escape, and they say these people are not worth it. So, hey, but we're not worth it too. So let's just bring them all down with us. Well, yeah, we can't bring them all down with us. We can't bring them all down in our eternal suicide. So we have to give them warning so that they can have a chance to escape. Because if we don't do that, we're going to be kept alive by God and smacked around the earth for everyone to see. We don't want that to happen. So wizards can't just do whatever they want. They don't have all the power or whatever. Get the hell out of here. They don't. Now you understand why many of those church pastors end up molesting children or sleeping with their members in the congregation. Now after all that happens because they're warlocks. And they get their support from the wizards. And the wizards tell them, listen, you have to warn people against us. If they give you excuses or they turn you into a scapegoat so they don't have to look at their own participation, that's on them. Then they're participants in what we're doing. But you have to warn them. That's how it goes. So it goes like this. The wizard wants everyone to perish with him in his misery. The wizard is throwing tantrums forever in a bitchy, effeminate way. But the wizard knows very well I can't force everyone to go down with me. Even though they deserve it, I can't force everyone to go down with me. I need to offer ways out. Because if I don't offer ways out, the Heavenly Father will be on my ass, and he's going to be in a joyful mood, smacking me around the earth. Yo, that's going to be horrible. So understand this: wizards, the only advantage they have is the neglect of the masses. They have no further advantage. The only advantage wizards have is neglect of the masses. So stop talking about the Illuminati. There's also a way to call the wizards. And by the way, people think most of the wizards are white men, and that's not true. The majority of wizards are African, unfortunately. Yes, they are, because the wizards use voodoo on the masses, and voodoo originates in Africa. So they're using a black paranormal discipline on the masses. So white supremacy that dominates the world is a loose voodoo operation by black coons, is what it is. Many of those rich, racist people, if you look behind the scenes, is some black wizard behind them supporting them. They even show you this in many of those movies. They even show you that openly. So wizards, they're a pathetic case on itself, really. Don't even bother evangelizing nor talk to a wizard. No, just avoid them completely. And wizards, we should treat them as demons, because what type of humanity is left in those men, for real? But stop talking about Illuminati. Say, oh, they're the ones fucking us over. I'm sorry, but are you willing to participate in better? Oh, likely you're not. So you're actually in agreement with it. If you don't ask for better, means you're content with worse. If you don't ask for better, you're content with worse. People say never do something for other people unless they ask for it. Okay, but the Bible doesn't say this. The Bible says we have to do good towards other people whether they ask for it or not. Now we're not supposed to force us. We're not supposed to use blackmail on other people. We shouldn't do that, but we should be of good quality to other people whether they want it or not, because that's the natural thing to do, to be of good quality to other people. If you're not willing to receive good quality from other people, means you're content things being worse. So you're part of the problem. What the heck is that? Oh, we never asked for this. Okay, what did you ask for? Oh, you didn't ask for any quality. That means you're part of the problem. Bye. That's how Jesus sees it. You were never entitled to be content with negativity to begin with. So understand, wizards know what they're doing. They're going to the lake of fire anyway, so I'm not even bothered about that. They're going to the lake of fire forever. They know that. It's just that they have to, under obligation, to give us a way out. And when the masses don't take responsibility, the masses are responsible for whatever happens. So if the wizards are about to, um, let's say the wizards, they want to mentally destroy the female population in a country. Let's take for example the Netherlands, for example. And let's say the wizards actually wants we want to destroy all the women in the Netherlands psychologically. We want all the women in the Netherlands to be psychologically damaged. Let's say the wizards decide to say something like this. First of all, they hate women. They certainly hate women because remember they're full agreement with Satan. Let's say you have a few wizards. Okay, we want to fully destroy all the Dutch women. They can't just go out there and act out the program. No, no, no. They have to warn the people in the Netherlands, this is what we're doing to all of you. So what happens is the wizards, they will hire sellouts that will make derogatory music about Dutch women, condescending music about Dutch women. They'll make TV programs degrading the Dutch woman. They'll even promote toxic femininity amongst the Dutch women. They'll do all of that. They'll do all of that. And by doing all of that, they're actually showing this is bullshit what we're doing. If the mass in the Netherlands don't take responsibility and counter whatever goes on, that means they are coming into agreement with it. And once they're in agreement with it, the West will say, "Hey, we gave them an option to get out. We warned them over and over again. We showed how ridiculous and stupid we are, but they'd rather put up with us and serve Jesus. So they're enemies of God. So you know what? They deserve what we bring on them. And now they will fully go out there and send their warlocks to ritually rape a lot of the women and sexually harass women ritually. They won't just go out there and send their gangs out there to actually traffic the women, ritually harass them, and ritually rape them at parties and all of that. They won't do that in the beginning. They'll first massage the public in showing in generating consent from the public. The public has no right to consent to it because they're not allowed to do that. They don't. But they know that the masses want to escape. So they know if we do this without informing the mass what we're doing, the mass can play the victim like it's not on us and avoid responsibility. But if they show it to the masses and the masses don't counter it for better, now the masses have participated in the crime. So now when they fully go off on the crime, the mass have explained too why they allowed it to happen. That's what it is. So wizards are covering themselves by doing this. Now, enough about wizards because those men don't deserve that much attention. Do you understand now why they use so much propaganda in the media? Do you understand now why they push so many of those movies and songs out there? Right? Is it clear to you? All right. I still don't see any comments, but I just want to know if it's all clear to you now before I continue. It's quite quiet in the streets today. Yeah, it's Sunday. Also. Hold on. Okay. It's getting better now. Good. And by the way, the wizard often is God's judgment on the public. The thing about the public is neglectful, and the public just makes bad shit happen, and the public explodes on you when you call them out. So the public is abusive. The community is abusive. So if one of their victims becomes a monster, God will hand over them to the monster they brought forth. Now, God does not agree with the monster. God is not okay with this human being becoming a monster. God does not endorse nor justify what the monster is doing to the public. But God will hand over the public to that monster, and He will let the monster devour the public. Simple as that. That's why God is not stopping all these terrorist attacks. That's why God is not stopping the trafficking of a lot of women. That's why God is not stopping a lot of those men that go out there and do women dirty sexually and all of that. Because a lot of these women, just to be frank, they don't want any bad, just want to escape and be left alone. So they're part of the problem. So why would God protect someone who doesn't be part of the solution? Now there are women indeed who are just actually real victims who would simply then it was overwhelmed them, but a lot of them are worldly, they don't want any solutions. They will ignore you when you say things they don't want to hear. So God says, why the heck should I offer protection to you? And you don't even want to participate in bad for other people. So God will allow toxic men to have their way with them. That's why God is not stopping all of that. Why would God stop all of that for a population that insists in misfortune? Why would God stop harm from a public that insists in spitting in his face all the time? Why would God? Why would God stop harm from a public that freely harms their own children because they don't want to deal with things in life? Why would God do that? He's not. So often, God lets wizards live as a backfire on the public. God isn't going to smack the public. That's what we were taught in church. God's going to punish the public. God's not punishing them. God is letting their own consequence haunt them. The wizard is often the consequence of the public's own neglect. That's why God is not stopping them. That's why the quote unquote Illuminati is still there doing these things, because the public does want to be better. But the wizards know we can't do the shit on Ari Dust over there. Oh, not over there. The wizards even tell their agents, make sure you don't go around Mr. Dust's house. No, 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 no. He's a real believer. So don't go near his house. Because if you go, you may even die if things backfire. Don't even do that. Wizards run criminality and the terrorist groups. They do. And God is tolerating the reign of terror on the human species because the human species has to want better. They have to participate in better. The Heavenly Father demands human species to participate in better, especially on a sexual level. If they won't, then they are cursed, and and this terror is what they get. Simple as that. That's how God operates. You don't want to participate in better, just want to escape. You become abusive, okay? Then this reign of terror is what you get. Bye. This is how the Heavenly Father does it. You want better, okay? I'll support you with strength. I'll support you with fellow believers, and the word things will work out for you. This is how God operates. You think the wizards are bad? What about the public that allows all those bad things to happen? Haven't you, have you ever thought about this? Why is it that it's always you that needs to make sure you have good quality to other people? They should never bother other people. Why can the masses just ignore you when they want to, but you also have to keep them as a priority? What is that? Haven't you noticed when you don't give in to what the public wants, you just pretend like you don't exist, like you don't even matter? But if you ever procrastinate, give in to what they want, they arrest you, put you in prison, or they end up blacklisting you. You can't get a job, and you end up homeless in the street dying. That's what the mass are doing to you. Most people ignore this threat. They just take it as, well, you're an adult, so you have to take care of yourself. Hold on. Why is it that I need to take care of myself? Why can't the community take care of me? And I take care of the community in return. Why can't we? Why is no reciprocity over here? A lot of human beings, they become part of the problem by not facing the problem. And the problem is fallen mankind doesn't want solutions. They don't want to be safe. That's the issue. Once you admit this, you're on your way to a solution. If you persist in toxic denial, you're part of the problem too. Simple as that. For example, you can have Nicki Minaj or maybe Kim Kardashian or Jennifer Lopez, for example. You can have any of those celebrities showing and shaking their ass on a video. And you have men all over the world being so obsessed with their ass, looking at the video, all fair, they lose their mind about seeing another woman shaking her behind. And those same men will encounter homeless people around them and think, hold on a minute, we need to reform our economy. We need to reform this economy so everyone is well off. No, they will ignore the homeless people around them. They can't take the homeless people in their house because they can't give psychological care to the homeless individual. They can't. But what they can do is say, you know what, I want to participate for a better economy. At least be willing to participate in a better economy. They don't even want to do that. Just want to be left alone. They'll rather look at another woman shaking her ass on the internet than to actually participate in better of their own community. I'm sorry, but why are you so upset with the wizards if you're dealing with a population like this? What if you end up losing your job because the company goes bankrupt? And a lot of companies went bankrupt the past 3 years. And what if you end up homeless because nobody's helping you out? If you go out and loot a supermarket just to eat, they're going to say you're a criminal, you shoplift, you have to go to prison. Hold on. So they built prisons to lock you in. They build mental asylums, lock you in if you collapse mentally. They have police officers to kidnap you and put you in prison, but they don't have provisions to help you out for the better in the long term. What? And people are loyal to this thing called society? Yo, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're checking on me again, but anyway. Wait, so people are okay with prisons being built, mental asylums. They're okay with having officers around that can kidnap you and put you in those places. They use prison and mental asylums as a threat on you to force compliance out of you, to force you to go to contribute to them. But when are they contributing to you in the long term? When are they doing it? Oh, wait. Especially when it comes to money, don't even expect that. You're obliged to pay money as long as you're alive. It's called taxes. Okay, I'm not going to discuss taxes right now, but okay, but you're obliged to pay money to your community. Where's the community paying you? Oh, but you need to work for. Okay, but why is the community entitled to your money unconditionally, but you have to work to get money? Or else you're a criminal, else you are a lazy bastard, a parasite, whatever. So it's okay for the community to demand from you. You have to give a yes to the community, but the community gives you no end time they want. Is this narcissistic abuse? At least admit the abuse that goes on from the community. Then you realize, you know what? I need Jesus. I need actual little power to deal with this. If you keep making excuses, you become part of those narcissistic abuse, and you become the victimizer too. As simple as that. No excuses. Because if you would blackmail people with putting them in a dungeon, unless they contribute towards you, but shouldn't contribute to them at all, you'd be arrested and put in prison. So why can't the community do it towards you? What is that? It doesn't add up. If you're willing to fall for this, you are a victimizer yourself. If you're willing to put up with this, you are a victimizer yourself. Am I telling you to join terrorist groups and blow buildings up just because you're upset? No. I'm telling you to participate in Christ, to walk in resurrection power, and to shut down negativity around you and actually live life on the earth. I want you to operate in solution. God wants it too. If you're willing to get along with this thing called society, you are part of the problem and you're a victimizer yourself. So when the wizards and the rape spirits with the reign of terror afflict you or haunt you, don't cry like you're the thing, because you're not. You're a collaborator, that's what you are. You're a collaborator that hopes to get some ease out of it. So you're part of it, simple as that. By the way, you now are responsible also for all the harm that happens in the world on this reign of terror, because you're part of the reign of terror, simple as that. So you're not an innocent citizen. You're not. Listen, if someone is above age 20 and they still don't want to face how fallen our species is, I begin to avoid you, because you're out of your mind. If you're above 25 and you're still not serving Jesus, somewhere you have there's some deep rooted dysfunction in you. Somewhere you're risky to be around. I still love you. I still want to love towards you. I'll still look after you where possible, but deep involvement we're not going to have. Absolutely not. Simple as that. So the masses are not innocent. They're not. They're part of the problem, and they are the problem. And Jesus will remove the problem from the earth when he comes back for good. Right now, as believers, we overcome the problem, despite the problem being here. When Christ comes back, they're deported forever to the lake of fire. It's over with them. Simple as that. So just because we don't evict the problem ourselves does not mean we have to just let the problem happen to us. Walk in power, overcome these people. Simple as that. The public never wants to accept blame for their failures and their neglect. They never want to do that. They always want to look for some villain to blame, whether it's a terrorist or for example, Osama bin Laden used to be the big villain for a lot of Americans, so that they didn't have to face their own neglect for each other as American people. They love to have the villains that they can blame, or they love to put it all on the politician, or they often blame the victims, the people they've neglected, but just accept that they're the fucked up ones. They don't want to do that. Listen, I'm not telling you to attack the what. If something wrong goes on, don't attack what goes wrong, because by attacking it, you're contributing to negative tension. Counter it. So if you, let's say you walk down the street and see a few guys whistling, the hissing at women like that. Hey babe, this is the kind of catcalling women. You attacking the men is contributing to negative tension. Doesn't solve anything. You ignoring it will also be okay. It just happens. But tell them, hey dudes, come on, you guys can do better than this. You guys can actually be husbands, right? So why the heck are you on the street catcalling women? You actually, if you want to catcall them, want to actually be fully sexually responsible towards them then. You see what I mean? By countering it, you're shutting down what the negativity that goes on. But by you looking down on the men, catcalling women, you not become part of the problem because you're not contributing to the solution. Just want to just want to feel superior to them. You want to feel superior to them, feel good about yourself. So you actually are using them as scapegoats to relieve yourself. So by doing that, you're now abusing them just to be at ease. They can be wrong, catcalling women like that. What the heck are you doing? Are you willing to contribute to a better sexual climate yourself? If not, you just want to exploit anyone else just to be at ease. Listen, if you open your mouth just to attack and dump, yeah, you did open your mouth. You weren't silent, but it's the same as you're also complicit because you're just contributing to worse. You have to open your mouth to counter things. And sometimes you can't open your mouth because the situation is too dangerous for you to open your mouth. Then you shut your mouth and you shake dust off your feet. But at least have the attitude you want to contribute to better, both for yourself and for others. If you don't even have that attitude, you are complicit for the violence. Simple as that. That's why I don't blame the wizards. Even though the wizards are to blame for their role in it, but the thing is, the wizards wouldn't be able to do anything if the masses just wanted better. If the masses obeyed Christ, wizards wouldn't be able to do anything. Same way the demons. The demons wouldn't be able to accomplish anything if the masses just obeyed Christ. So you have to look at the masses sometime and ask them, guys, what the heck are you guys doing? You have to look at your own parents and say, Mom, Dad, what the heck is wrong with both of you? You have to look at people around and say, what the heck is wrong with us? If you're not willing to face this, I'm sorry, but you develop toxic denial and you're part of the problem then. Simple as that. Don't be part of the problem. Be blameless by serving Christ. Amen? Before I continue, are there any questions about this topic? Let me know. Hmm. Stop excusing the masses. Stop doing that. Also, don't vilify the masses either, because then you actually do. Because then you're not contributing to any better. Accept the fact what the masses are and relate to them in a proper way, without indulging yourself in the negativity. Simple as that. Well, let me see. If I miss any questions from you, hold on. Okay, didn't get any questions. Okay, all right. Well, no questions were asked here, I see. So thank you all for being in this live stream, participating. Keep agreeing with Christ. Don't chase after wizards. And I'll see you next time. Shalom. God is good.